Dude, and she just kept sending me like all these pictures from every angle you can think of.
Was she old enough though?
Oh,
don't answer
older
that, bro.
than
We're
me.
live.
Older than me. Oh shit. Okay, welcome everyone to the 10K Room podcast. Dude, why did you have to start it with that? Like, you know what, funny intros, don't make it into that. My name is Amos Joseph. I'm joined by my perverted co-host, Brook Potter in the UK. How's it going, Brook?
Exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. I am so fucking tired. It's not even a joke at this point. We just barely scraped through Religion Zero with the panelists and stuff like that. And I must admit, half of that show I wasn't even there.
I wasn't even there.
I was like, yeah, man.
Half the time in general, I'm never there.
So I've just chugged some coffee and I've got some water, and I'm hoping that I can slug it out for the next hour and a half. For those who don't know, I'm moving out to Wales. I've officially got my place approved. I will be going out there next week, Wednesday. I'm going out Tuesday, overnighting with a friend of mine in Llandaff, and then I'm heading up to Aberdeen on Wednesday, get the keys, sign the lease. Moving men should be coming in the evening. I will be in my place this time next week. I don't know if I'll be able to do the show, though, because the internet is not yet set up. They don't come until the 15th.
So piggyback off your neighbor's Wi-Fi.
That's what I'm hoping to do. Hopefully there's some kind of arrangement. So I don't want to say I'm not doing it yet, because we do have episode 100, which we probably have to discuss and make some plans for in celebration. But yes. Nonetheless, I will be ready and waiting for the next show, definitely the week after. So we'll see how it goes from there. How are you doing out there? Anything on fire?
No, nothing at least. I don't think so. We've been having heat advisories for the past few days.
Oh, what's the temperature like?
Mid-90s with 50+% humidity.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's
yeah. So yeah, I've been going to work. I go into a car that is cooking at 110 degrees.
Oh,
so I gotta open up all my windows and be real careful with my seatbelt and just blare the air conditioning till the car cools down. But before I get into that, I know we gotta do our thing, man.
You gotta do some house cleaning. Well, we
gotta do some thinking. Oh wait, wrong one. Oops. I'm just kidding.
For those who are listening, the banner at the bottom just said racism bad.
Yeah, in reference to our previous stuff where it was like, everyone was going on about, racism and whatnot. And anyway, so if you would like to support the show, of course, there are few different ways you can do it. The most popular ways that I would recommend is going to subscribestar.com/shitlord-preachers. That basically allows you to be able to support the show monthly. And then that's basically $1, $5, $10, and $20 a month tiers. The $5 tier, which I think is the most popular actually, gives you access to the videos, our raw take series, where we do like anywhere from like literally half an hour to a full hour of discussing. It's kind of like almost an impromptu separate show we do for the subscribers on Subscribestar. And then of course, if you don't want to just, that's more of the content side. If you want to just support us in a way that can help you in a very tangible way, you have Tactical Soap. Basically, I'd say it's one of the best soaps in the world for men. Doesn't fuck with your endocrine system, doesn't mess with your balls. Basically, it's a natural product that is effective, and it's not some woo-woo pseudoscience stuff. It's actually like proper soap that actually cleans. So there is that. And then of course, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below if you guys do enjoy the show. Share this show with anyone that you think will enjoy the show. Subscribe to us on podcasting platforms and all that. So into the show.
Fantastic. Since we do like things that don't fuck up our balls. That's our balls are very close to us.
Exactly, man. So the thing though is, even though the title says Kanye West,
yes,
we're probably not going to talk about Kanye West that much, really. I just want to get, this is clickbait, everybody.
Joke's on you.
But it was only just today when it was announced that Kanye West wants to run for president for this election year, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, I literally just heard about it waking up today, which was like
I didn't hear about it until you said
5 minutes
that,
before we did Religion Zero. So I'm reading. Yeah, I'm was looking at it. He's announced his run. It's probably just a bit of a stunt, I believe. With the campaign season as it is with Corona and everything, it's pretty much stalled for everyone. So so a lot of the candidates that are running are on more equal footing, in my opinion, because they're not moving around quite as much.
Sure.
Not as much really pushing for media and all that. So someone like Kanye coming in, who's to say what could happen with that?
What is he running as a Republican, as an
Probably
independent?
As an independent, I think.
Independent. Okay, fair enough.
If he does a Democrat, I mean, he could probably, bump Biden out of it.
I don't think it's going to take much at this point. I think Biden will bump Biden out at this point,
The wind could bump Biden out of this. A light breeze.
Yeah.
So,
So he announced that he was running this election season 2020.
As in,
oh wow. I thought he was going to do 2024.
Yeah, let me see here. So there's a lot of interesting things like trending on Twitter right now is, obviously he's trending. I think one is like, Mr. West. But because he's a black man, and the ever so inclusive and woke SJW crowd, progressive black crowd is coming against him, saying like, why do you want to be a mediocre white man? Calling him all sorts of stuff. So a black man that wants to become president, and everyone's coming against him and all this stuff. And it's like, you're a racist if you want to be if you're a white man and you want to be president, but you're a racist apologist by being a non-white man trying to be president. It's like, what the heck?
We all had this experiment with Ben Carson when 2016, and I quite liked Ben Carson. I mean, he was boring. He didn't have the articulate, demeanor and stuff like that. Very soft-spoken gentleman. And the left went after him hard. It really showed, again, it's not really about skin color for these people. It's all about ideology in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised when Kanye was invited to the White House and he said he was coming out to support Trump and stuff like that. You got all of the, race baiting commentary about, him being a, Uncle T and, the C word and all these other things. It's just nonsense. As our friend Bobby Leon was talking about it previously, the whole BLM, Black Lives Matter, protests and stuff. It's pretty clear the hypocrisy that these movements really don't support, black people. They don't talk about the major issues hitting the black community is, abortion and black on black crime, what's going on in Detroit and these places and Chicago. And it's like, where are you? Where are you for all these things? The slaves being sold in Lebanon and in the Middle East, these African slaves. Where's all the outcry for that, Mm-hmm. So, I think most people, at least I hope most people, all the normies are kind of waking up a little bit to what's really going on,
Ooh, what's really going on? See, what's really funny about that phrase, what's really going on, is
what's really going on?
What's really going on as a phrase gives me the same type of like cringe as the word problematic.
Oh, right.
Because problematic is kind of that left wing, this is problematic. Like it's a cop out word to basically say this makes me uncomfortable, this triggers me, this bothers me. I think this can lead to and it's something that is against my ideology on race and all these other whatevers.
Yeah.
So what's really going on?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, even when I'm saying like, let me tell you what's really going on, and in my head I'm just like Alex Jones, like what's really going on, and I'm like, fucking it, like.
But I think it's a fair expression, though. I think I don't know how many normie friends you have, But a lot of people that I know, they're seeing the double standards clear as
Oh
day.
no! I get that, but I mean, it's just like tends to kind of have that same type of wavelength going on, like what's really going on and problematic, because you have your right wing conspiracy and you have your left wing SJW. So you just got all this stuff going around, and I'm just like, can't talk about anything. You know.
I get that.
What's really going on as a tinfoil hat appears on my head, and I'm talking about something as boring as, well, did you know that the NSA is looking into your phone? Like, that's pretty common knowledge.
Yeah.
But then it's like, let me tell you what's really going on in your phone. Like, freaking tinfoil hat. Yeah. But yeah. So enough about Kanye.
I mean, what else what has been going on in terms of the political atmosphere and climate? Is it not much has been really happening then?
I mean, you had the 4th of July yesterday, so Independence Day. Happy Treason Day for everyone.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, you and I did a special episode on the Subscribe Star. If anybody's interested,
for Raw Takes, yeah, we just did a
takes.
Like a 4th of July dealio. It's pretty random. It's not anything specific, but so if you guys want to watch that, you do need to go subscribe. So links below. So
I'm getting good at these plugs.
Yeah.
Brian is gonna call him on cue. He's like the producer now. Like, it's soap time.
So with that, obviously, Trump was at Mount Rushmore setting off fireworks. Biden was going on about wearing a mask, which was weird. The most patriotic thing you can do as an American is wear a mask. Really? You're going to say that on the 4th of July? It's kind of weird. It's like, but then I saw a video people were posting. It was really, someone took a news clip. It was some local news station, their helicopter flying across the city at night. And they basically were flying across, and then it said the headline below was illegal fireworks, and there's just fireworks going off everywhere.
Everywhere.
and then the caption was America, and I'm like, that's freaking awesome, because I don't know if you know. So here in Minnesota, there's actually laws on fireworks.
Right. Okay.
And but the funny thing is, all of the states around us don't have those laws.
Right. Okay.
So when you go to certain states, one of the first things. So actually, let's see. When I went to South Dakota, my family went on a trip out to Mount Rushmore, the Black Hills, and all that. As soon as we crossed into South Dakota, like the first 10 miles is just huge signs. Fireworks. Across the border. Same thing. People will go to Wisconsin to get fireworks. People will go to North South Dakota. People will even try to go to freaking Iowa to get fireworks.
Right. So I mean, what is the law in Minnesota? They can't sell the fireworks in Minnesota. Is that what?
No, we have. There's it's like a certain level of firepower, basically, that is limited.
Right. You can't go like super big.
Super big, or ones that shoot up into the air that powerfully. Like it's mainly just ones that make a little noise and spin around on the ground. Like it's not ones you want to talk like proper fireworks, you go to freaking Taiwan during Chinese New Year. During like my there was a picture that I was shown. It was so my mom over in Taiwan right now still, she was they're celebrating the 4th of July in a way there too, and she sent us a message. She goes, I went to pick up fireworks, like $100 $100 worth of fireworks. Now that doesn't sound like a lot for Americans here, but you could easily triple or quadruple that in terms of buying power in Taiwan to make that for like a whole lot more. I remember we would get like bottle rockets, like just little things right on stick. Yeah. You could get like 200 of those for like $5.
Cool. 200, you said. Wow.
Yeah. Just like literally, it's just a bundle of them. And it's like, $5 US. You'd have so many people just selling this in bulk, and people just, and lighting them off however which they want. Like I remember we took a bundle of like 100, we put them in a box, that it was like one of those like fireworks in a box, and then we lit that to then light those.
Lit the box to light the
to light the box with the fireworks in it that we then added more bottle rockets to.
Brilliant.
Just and in an open area, like in where we were celebrating in Taiwan, and it's just going like crazy. We would actually we'd take them, we'd light them, we'd go off of really tall buildings and sort of throw them off the building, and they'd fly. They wouldn't hurt anyone. They just kind of shoot, pop.
Yeah.
So, pretty libertarian when it comes to fireworks in Asia.
I mean, we have some celebrations back in Trinidad. Well, we have them in the UK. I think it's November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. Yeah. So that's Guy Fawkes Day, the guy who was going to blow up the Parliament building. And,
right.
We do fireworks for that.
Thanks for joining us, NSA, since we just said that.
No, it'll be MI6. It's the English intelligence that's jumped on. So we have it for Guy Fawkes Day. In fact, I went out to a celebration last year that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, look at that. Facebook just killed the stream. Oh, it's back on now. But yeah.
Oh geez, I thought I was like, what?
Yeah. The minute you mention any of these kind of things, you get paused as the algorithm tries to figure it out. And I went out for the New Year's in 2017. I went out to the New Year's party in London. That was a pretty spectacular show as well. But yeah, I mean, but didn't who was it? Hong Kong or Japan or China? They did a fireworks display using drones. Who was that did that last year?
I don't know, but I mean that definitely sounds like fun. I mean,
yeah,
one of the really large fireworks demonstrations in Taiwan was the Taipei 101.
Right, the tallest building in Taiwan.
Yeah, they will line the building with fireworks that just all go off. So it just lights up the entire building with fireworks.
Sweet. That's pretty cool.
Every year it's kind of a little different. I think they do one for the New Year's, and I think they probably do something similar for Chinese New Year, because since Taipei 101 tends, in terms of culturally and internationally, it's more of an international landmark rather than the national side of it. So they'll do more during regular New Year's.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool.
Anyways, so yeah, we have that going. Hey, I'm a very busy man.
I know. Working for a very busy person.
So, yeah, and we got Amundo in the chat there. Make America Yay again, because technically he's not Kanye. His name is Ye.
Is it?
You didn't know that? He changed it to Ye.
No, I don't care that much to follow Kanye West.
It was like Snoop Dogg turned into Snoop Lion or something.
Right, when he thought it was the reincarnation of Bob Marley or some shit like that. And then,
right.
There was somebody else. They changed their name to Yah, like Yahweh. It was the whole man god kind of cult thing.
Like, well, what am I? Are you gonna get a different name, Brooke? I'm just gonna call you Burr.
Ironically, I have actually been thinking about changing my name.
Wow.
Yeah.
To what?
To Jordan. It's a very interesting story. In fact, that was going to be my original name. So my mother, when she had me, she wanted me to have something to do with water. And my godmother came in and she recommended the name Jordan, like the Jordan River. And she was going to call me that, but then she's like, well, no, that's the name of my pharmacist. I don't really want to do that.
Why not the Euphrates?
That was not brought up.
I just said you want to really stick with your water.
Or, denial,
Yeah, denial.
But yeah, it was, that was going to be and what ended up happening is many, many years later, I must have been about 20, 21, 22. I was in a prophetic church services, and the guy actually came up to me and he said, your name is Jordan. And he had no clue that was actually the original name I was supposed to get from my mother. And now many, many years later, I'm kind of reevaluating my life and all this kind of stuff. And I thought maybe it might be pretty cool if, I do a drastic something like change my name. So I actually have been thinking about it, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't think,
Edmundo is like, just change your name to Tyrone and get all the honeys.
Yeah,
Edmundo,
it's
did you see
funny.
my Instagram post? Is that what that's in relation to?
I mean, if you go look, funny enough, I was telling you, and not to make this another episode where I rant about D&D for an hour.
Oh
But
God,
there,
no, please.
no, yesterday. So I mean, right now you guys will kind of hear. Maybe I'll mention it depending on how it goes. But yesterday was my second session as a dungeon master for D&D, and we actually added a new character to it. He was this, paladin, which is kind of like a knight warrior, god, basically like a god-fearing knight type of person. And his name, like I was trying to find a name that fit the world they're in, which is like this Irish Gaelic setting, and uh, we are almost going to go with Tyrone.
in the Gaelic setting.
If you take out the E, it is Irish. Tyrant.
Brilliant. Tyrant, yeah. Brilliant.
Tyrant, the human paladin. It's white guy and everything, and it's so.
That's funny.
But yeah, he goes. That's what he's gonna go by. But yeah, it was just one of those things. Like, it was kind of funny, like, because, and some of the other players will just be like, okay, Tyrone. I'm like, that's like, I'll just say it right, but they'll kind of throw in a joke here and there, like, Tyrone over here. But
I'm about to fuck somebody's wife.
yeah, you can't really do it. Paladins are a little more. They're lawful good, so they're just like these very proper, like, they're literally white knights. But like in the more chivalrous,
somebody's wife.
In the more chivalrous, kind of way, not so much like the white knight as we see them today.
Right, fair enough.
But yeah, it's just funny. So, but yeah, I just reminded me of that Tyrone.
Tyrone.
So Jordan, what would be your well? Have you mentioned your middle name here on the show?
No, I generally don't mention my middle name on the show because all you need is my full name and my date of birth, and you could pretty much access anything. So I don't say my middle name.
Get your social security number.
We don't have a social security number.
I know. That's why I'm saying that. Like,
but pretty close. Like you can get a lot of information if you know somebody's birthday and their
what would have been your proposed middle name then?
No, I like my middle name. I actually do like my middle name. And in my family, the firstborn male of every generation gets that middle name. And that's actually a tradition. If I do have kids, I would like to continue that whole tradition. In fact, if I have all boys, I'll give it all to them because the Potter family is dying out. We don't have many Potters left. I think it's between me and my cousin. He had girls, I think. I don't think he had any boys. I think
I told you about my family, right?
Well, what's that?
I'm one of I mean, it depends on how you look at it. So I am one of 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
5 if you included the other 2 that were basically like, there was a weird circumstance where basically I have 2 cousins that inherited the name out of wedlock. So they took the name of their mother.
Right.
Yeah, and then she married someone else and then took on this other guy's name. So they're these 2 kids that, different part of the country that have my last name. Technically, they can carry on the name,
right?
But it's just through interesting means. And then we didn't know about them for a while, but basically it was just myself, my brother, and my cousin. The only 3. The rest were like somewhere along the line, women, not married, not didn't have kids, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on with my family. Most of it is girls. Like I had 2 sisters, one passed away. Mm-hmm. Most of my cousins, all my cousins were mostly female. I think there's one cousin, he married a Venezuelan girl. From what I understand, that didn't work out, and I think he's now like in the red pill rage.
Feminist family structures, man. All these women.
I mean, it's such a hard thing what's going on in Trinidad right now because of the state of Venezuela. We have some fucking hot chicks, like Latina, coming into the country, like full on curvy Coke bottle, petite, big boob, big ass woman. Can't speak a lick of English, but they need papers. They don't want to go back to Venezuela. So they're hooking up with anybody. Like, I mean, even the vagrants on the street probably have Latina honeys, right? And they just want papers. And I don't know the full story of my cousin, but I fear something along those lines occurred, and she ended up kind of screwing him over. And he's a good guy. He's a cool fella. He's like me, you know. But he just obviously didn't know, and you know, I feel bad for him a little bit. But I'm kind of, at some point I was looking at all these girls, and I was like, shit, man, maybe I should go back to Trinidad for a while, because it's like some really hot women out there now.
Actually,
the local Trini women don't like it very much, though.
It's funny how I don't know if you remember, because we talked about this in our raw takes and such. Because I watched the show House. You remember that there was a whole thing about how House actually got married?
I don't remember that. He did.
He married this. He married a Russian woman so she could get citizenship.
Oh yes, I remember that. And I mean, it was obvious that it was an arranged marriage, and
right, but they really he literally was. She pretty much convinced the immigration officer, like, we got to make this work, and he basically gave them like all the loopholes to how to make it work. Because she actually eventually was like, you know, I love this man and I want to be with him. House tried to make it work. But I'm trying to remember it was towards the end of the show, basically it was just him going through all the people that he loved, and how like pretty much she was like one of the last people, because it was just so, you know, out of all the other people that kind of loved him, like, she was just such a convenience thing, and it was more of a stunt. But then eventually he actually fell in love with this person. So
I remember that. I remember it started off kind of not serious, and he kind of ended up getting pretty serious. So yeah, I agree.
And actually, he did some dumb stuff during it to like mess with her. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it was just funny. Like, papers. But what is that? Talk about Venezuela.
Yeah, Nuno was talking about how
Venezuela is your Mexico.
Trinidad is our Mexico to America.
So I mean, you wouldn't really build a wall, though, right? You would just have like a blockade.
It's not we're an island, so we literally can't build a wall. But
you would have a blockade.
Because I don't know if they really could, because what ends up happening is, because we're 50 miles off the coast of Venezuela, the fishermen, the men that go out on the boats to fish, go across to Venezuela. They pick up a boatload of Venezuelans, and they're paid to traffic them back to Trinidad. And they come through in the south end of the island.
Is it the Bolivar? No, what's the money?
Yeah, yes. In Venezuela, the currency is called the Bolivar.
Bolivar, that's right.
So this is what ends up happening.
It's not worth much, though.
Oh God, no! It's toilet paper. It's the most devalued.
How would you get paid in toilet paper then? Well, I mean,
but they traffic in U.S. dollars.
I was going to say, it is the quarantine, though.
Oh, no, they don't give a shit. I mean, this is actually a major problem, because there's no checks or anything like that. And these people could be coming across with the virus, and probably are. But what's ended up happening is that they're willing to, first of all, they're willing to work. A lot of Trinidadians are very lazy. They don't have a good work ethic. The Venezuelans are willing to work, and they work for the cheap, and they work long hours. So a lot of businesses, you see the transition. Even my dentist, who I was going to for many years, his secretary, one of the girls who does like the teeth cleaning, all of them are Venezuelan, and they're professionals, lawyers, dentists, doctors, anybody with any kind of skill.
Hot professionals.
This is what I'm getting to now, is that a lot of them actually just come across and they work prostitution for like 3 months. Like $50 US a pop, and they might do, 10 guys a day or whatever the case might be. And by the time 3 months is up, they go back to Venezuela with $10,000 US, and they fucking buy a mansion because their currency is so low. So there's a whole, Trinidadians for so long have been spoiled, because we've never had any kind of refugee, we never had a war, we had an attempted coup in 1990 and all this kind of stuff. But for the first time in the history of the country, they're seeing what happens when an influx of foreigners come into the country, and suddenly they're all very pro-war and all suddenly very nationalist, like, this is our fucking country. They give Trump shit. They all hate Trump, right, for no reason, just because they're sucking on the tit of the mainstream media. and they're criticizing him about building the wall. But back in Trinidad, they're saying the exact same thing, and they don't even realize the hypocrisy. It's ridiculous.
No, I was saying you said pretty much the Bolivar is like toilet paper, and I thought, well, toilet paper might actually be worth something now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So the Bolivar it could be worth more than it actually is because of the toilet paper shortage.
yeah. Some people are using the Bolivar as toilet paper. I think in World of Warcraft, there's actually like a virtual currency that's not even real. That is worth more than the Bolivar. It's not even a fucking real currency. It's not even crypto. It's a game currency.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I have to say, man, some of the chicks out there are fucking hot, man. I mean, when I get out to Trinidad on my next trip, I'm going to be living my best life, man. I'm going out there for like 10 days or whatever in March. It's going to be on, at least 2 or 3 a day, I'm sure.
I heard something.
Yeah, I think that's me. There's a kid outside who's playing on a skateboard or something. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, good stuff.
Breaking that quarantine.
I mean, the quarantine is basically lifted in England. You still have all this social distancing and 2 meters.
Social distancing, businesses still with limits. They're still phasing into reopening, but the governor is coming down hard, saying because there's this. So some of these major states like Florida, California, New York, and stuff are getting these weird surges in cases.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been hearing about that?
Well, yeah,
record-setting days of cases, being added. I'm not even checking the number, but it's just like, goddamn, the number's going like crazy, and yeah, I'm seeing all this, and they're threatening to like go into full lockdown again.
Yeah, I think Florida was. I mean, it's because of the beaches, right? People in Florida flock into the beaches. That's where they pick it up. In some
it's pronounced bitches.
Oh, is it bitches now? Oh, great. Nice. I can't keep track.
Pronounced bitch.
And then, of course, it's the protest. And I think I saw some ridiculous report where in New York or something, they're like, why are we having COVID spikes? And the mayor's like, I don't know. And everybody's kind of like, what do you mean, fuck, you don't know? It's all the bloody protesters, right?
Well, someone actually said like, oh, the protest probably slowed the spread because it made more people stay at home. And I was like, and I'm thinking like,
that is the dumbest shit that I've ever. Oh, I know I can't say it's the dumbest shit, but it's definitely in the top 10.
I was like, I'm like, I kind of see. I'm like, okay, more people stay home to stay safe. Okay.
But thousands flock together in a crowd with no social distancing. Right.
Maybe they were saying like the people that were outdoors were definitely less in general. It's kind of like this. Okay, so it was an event. Obviously, the world. No, but I'm just saying. I'm trying to like work this. Not like
I'm trying to figure out what they're saying, but yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like saying how like shootings in the U.S. are going down in general, but school shootings are going up. So school shootings get all the attention because lots of people dying in a setting, kids. That's like, this is how the media does it. So the protests, while are more, overall, there were fewer people outside exposing themselves. So maybe just a little.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm just saying,
the whole thing of the protests were outside. There were more people outside in the protests. So I don't think that necessarily holds.
You get what I'm saying though, right? Like
I do. I do see how they could try and spin it, but I don't think that makes sense, and I don't think anybody believes that anyway. So,
yeah. But I remember, I saw some stuff on it on the because coronavirus is a real thing. I believe it. It's a disease. It does hurt people, and it's messing with the economy and all that. Okay, fine, I get that. But I'm getting some real like Karens on the other side that I'm seeing post some stuff about like I actually saw someone like posting there was like a chart someone posted and it said like, degrees of activity that can like risk factors. It was like a 0 to 9. Technically it should just be like a 1 to 10. But like ones are like low level exposure, 10s are like high level exposure.
Right.
Nowhere on there was a protest, but anyways, that's besides the point. But basically I saw some people like, I mean, there's individuals that I see on my newsfeed that are posting about. They posted that and they were like, it was because this person is posting a long line of like points and stuff like I mean, they posted some dumb diagram about like CO2 sickness because of mask usage.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
It's like no one told you to go for a run in your mask.
Well,
Like most of the time, you're just wearing your mask into a building to do shopping that you're walking in. So like you're more than able to just breathe. And I think is the problem is because you had some people wearing these N95 masks and running, or doing something really strenuous.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
so
think some of
I was
the
like, so they
gyms
pointed
too.
that out, and they're like, oh, look at this CO2, sickness and all this is very similar to coronavirus symptoms.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
And then they post it, and then they basically posted a whole long line of like why the disease is probably not real, or flu number, the whole thing with flu numbers versus corona numbers,
Right.
which there was something about that in the beginning, but now the cases are growing so fast.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't
no
really
longer
justify that.
relevant. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And then they posted this, you know, risk factor chart, and they said, oh, by this I should have gotten corona like a bunch of times. I said, yeah, your logic makes as much sense as saying I smoke a pack a day, I should have gotten cancer a dozen times by now.
Right.
But
Exactly.
it's not how it works. Like, just because you're not getting it doesn't mean you're a person of statistic of one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because of people like you, everybody else gets sick, or more people get sick. Now, I'm not pushing the one way or the other. I'm just saying the balanced view is realizing that it's not just it's all fake, but it's also not just fucking freak the fuck out and close all the doors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
balance in there. So
Yeah, I pretty much echo that sentiment in a sense. I know that it is because the news is no longer reporting on the deaths as much. So the cases are rising, but the deaths are actually falling. So it's more survivable now than early on.
I
Which is
think,
not a
yeah,
surprise.
I wonder if just people are more aware of it, so they're treating it quicker. And
Well, no,
we do have certain medications that can slow it down, maybe.
possibly. I think. I mean, the hydroxychloroquine thing has been, Trump actually turned out to be right on that. The Lancet actually had to take back their, flawed study saying that it was actually killing people, or at least wasn't able to, wasn't an effective treatment. So yes, it is possible that there are more treatments, but I think just generally overall, just like what happened with H1N1, it eventually devolves into a more flu-like virus because the virus wants to survive. So evolutionarily, I think in China, it's probably bad because that's the early transmission from bat to human. That is the rawest. Go ahead.
China.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So in China, it's probably still bad because that's the epicenter where the first transmission, that's where the virus is most raw. But I think as it's got away from that, the strand has generally devolved to be less deadly because it wants to survive. If it kills the host, it can't survive. So I think once it entered the human population, I think the conch is in China. Yeah. So I think that's what's happening. So when you see them talking about the cases, there's a spike in cases. Yes, that's very true. And, I'm pretty sure that's tied to all the protests. But if you look at the deaths, I think it's two things. One, those who were susceptible early on, like, the elderly and people with underlying conditions. I think a lot of those people who may have gotten it kind of already died. Those that are not as vulnerable, they're going to survive it. They're not as many vulnerable people left, kind of thing.
The deaths have definitely super gone beyond your flu season argument. Death.
Oh yeah. The death spikes are real. Yeah. I mean, even if the numbers are flawed and they've double counted and stuff, there is still a massive increase.
Yeah. So that argument's pretty much gone. I remember. So, and that's the thing. Yeah, you got to have the balanced view of it. It's worse than the flu, but it's obviously not going to kill all of humanity.
Correct.
It definitely is crippling the economy. It's slowing the world down.
Well, government response to the virus is crippling the economy. Yeah, definitely.
True. Yeah, I mean, I think government is going to respond regardless. If this was worse, they probably would have responded just about the same.
Yeah, probably.
If it was less, it depends. if it somehow just hit all of our elderly population and at risk individuals right away. But that's a lot of speculating. So,
Yeah. I mean, there
eh,
was a terrible meme that came out here when the virus first came out, and everybody thought it was going to hit the elderly. Our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, in the meme, he comes out, "I've solved the retirement problem." And basically saying the virus was going to kill off all the pensioners.
it's like
It's
that
terrible.
video I
It's
sent
terrible.
you. That video sent you, kill the poor.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
Well,
that.
have you thought about raising VAT then killing the poor?
Yeah,
Just-
exactly.
And he goes, "What?" He goes, I'm not saying actually, dude. Just put it in the computer and see if it works."
Yeah. Put
And
it
he
in
goes,
the
"We're really
bottle.
considering this." And he goes, "Wait, the reason we're not doing this is because of the computer?" Like, so the whole thing about like just joking how like, anyways,
Yeah. We're definitely never getting monetized now. Surprised the stream is still going.
well, this is the whole thing then. So that dive brings into another interesting little thing we could always talk about is, you see these comedy sketches that are very just trying to be really lighthearted and joking about like, the idea. Obviously, no one advocates for that, but like, quote unquote, killing the poor, quote unquote, YouTube. And then
give a shit.
and then people flip out, but then there's absolutely no problem when the left wants to go around saying eat the rich or kill the rich.
Eat the rich, yeah.
Just eat the rich, kill the rich. And then then the argument like that really triggers them is like God damn it, Brian.
Well said, Brian. Well said. For those who don't know, Brian is in the chat saying tactical soap in 4 minutes.
So yeah, and then what was it like? And then when people want to go criticize the left because it's not about caring about the poor, it's about hating the rich. Yeah, but then we're totally fine with celebrity commercials. We're in this together.
Yeah.
I made this happen. I let I let the racism happen. I am staying home. We're all in this together in our mansions, not yours.
Yeah, exactly. Madonna speaking to us from a vat of like milk and flour petals.
Imported from like the mountains of the Himalayas or some shit.
Yes, like, for fuck's sake, you celebrities are the most useless people.
I mean, they're useful for movies.
Yeah, and they do sing and stuff like that. But I mean, I do not want to hear what you have to say. I mean, have you been following the whole cancel culture thing? Like how all these white people who voice colored, people of color characters are stepping down?
Yeah.
You're hearing that clicking. Yeah. Did you see the one with it's Trey Parker from South Park? He's no longer going to voice the Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh, because he doesn't want to represent characters of color as a white man.
Literal piece of shit.
Literally. So he's gonna. I mean, that's basically saying, well, what these people want me to do is get a piece of shit to talk as the character, right? So they're forcing him to be racist.
Yeah, no, that whole thing, all the Simpsons characters are going to be voiced by their proper well, then it's like, well, it's the world of the Simpsons. So where are you going to find all those yellow people?
A lot of people with jaundice, apparently. They're gonna have to look them up.
they're gonna employ a lot of jaundice individuals. Yeah,
Yeah. This is where we've reached in society, where actors can only play themselves in films and cartoons.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna make another biopic of some dead rock star and try to resurrect him to like, so he can.
It's like you're doing somebody's life story. You got to get the actual person to do the life story.
You heard about that movie with Scarlett Johansson that it was based off a Japanese anime, Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell. So yeah, that came out, and then everyone's like, whitewash and all this stuff. But then they like went to go like meet up with Japanese people. Like, what do you think about Scarlett Johansson playing it? What do you think? Because I mean, you think anime gets big in the States, it's bigger in Japan, obviously.
Yeah. big in Japan.
So they go there and they're showing them like, hey, what do you think about Scarlett Johansson playing, this person and all that? And they're like, oh yeah, I think it's really good. Oh yeah, I think it's actually really good. Like, because in reality, this individual, I mean, granted, it's a Japanese and it's an anime, so it's Japanese, but it's a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be drawn in a style that reflects more Japanese characteristics, but it's a robot. Robot.
Exactly.
Robot racism. But because I am now so goddamn conscious of this, Tactical Soap. You want us to help the show? You want to help the show so I can remember this stuff. So
you want to help your balls.
You want to help your balls. You rub this all over your balls.
We do like to help our balls.
This cleans up your balls real good. Tactical Soap. Go to tacticalsoap.com. Use the coupon code 10KRUM. Get 10% off on all your purchases with soap. They got some other stuff too, but I think the soap's the best. You want to get that? Cool. Or subscribestar.com/shitlord-preachers for our subscribe stars. Basically, like it's similar to another website called Patreon that we hate. But there's another one called Patreon too. Don't use that one. So basically, you can go there to give a monthly pledge to the show. You get certain perks. Do check that out. Of course, subscribe to the show, like the video. We've got 11 viewers, so we definitely should be seeing some likes on this. So like the video, guys, so the algorithms definitely do like us. So, anyways. Back to the show.
Yes.
Okay.
My friend Jason is he's watching on the live stream on Facebook, and he's talking about one of his friends died of the Kung flu with a heart attack, and it came back as COVID. And so I just want to acknowledge, we do know that there is a lot of dicey shit going on with how these numbers are being crunched and stuff.
I think a lot of those were at the beginning.
In the UK, because it's the NHS, because it's the National Health Service, if somebody dies of corona, they get more money.
Well, I'm saying there was that in the US as sort of the first wave of infections came through. That was happening right now with that kind of at least somewhat in the ether, so to speak, known. It's not happening quite as much. So the numbers are fairly accurate at the moment. So, but yeah, that whole thing with like, oh, we wouldn't have guessed that incentives with money in the government would make us misreport numbers.
Who would have thunk it? At least in the West, they're misreporting the numbers instead of underreporting the numbers, like in China. And I don't know if you saw like the latest report coming out from Hong Kong University, where they said it's like 2 million infections that have happened in China. Like, dang, versus whatever.
Probably more.
Probably more. I would.
You mean 2 million deaths?
No, 2 million infections.
Because we're at 2.9 million right now.
So yeah, it's probably more, but based on the information they had, they're saying it's at least 2 million.
Yeah,
I don't know how many deaths that is, but it's not the numbers coming out of China. But
there
we go. Never monetize now. We got the CCP on our ass.
Hey CCP.
In fact, my flatmate is supposed to be going out to China, and I was talking to him and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know that the UK is now offering 3 million Hong Kong citizens, or what we call British nationals overseas, the BNOs. They hold British passports, but they don't have the right to remain in the UK. We are now giving up to 3 million of them a path to citizenship in the UK. And of course, China doesn't like that very much,
That could actually help you guys out of your immigration problems.
You think? Like 3 million freedom-loving, anti-communist, anti-social, communist propaganda, freedom-loving capitalists coming over to the UK? Fuck yeah, man, bring them on.
Compared
to the Labour Party.
compared to your refugee crisis, I think it'll offset it.
Yeah. I mean, we've let in a lot of people here. There's a ton of illegals and all this other stuff. Unlike these are British citizens. These are actual British nationals. So this is a legal form of immigration, which is, of course, the left doesn't understand nuance. But they're it's not like they get automatic citizenship. They have to qualify with income and all this other kind of stuff. So
in the chat here, that's so foolish. Why would you allow a basic Chinese version of Antifa in your country? It's not the case, though. Antifa in the U.S. is very different from what is going on in the U.K. I mean, in Hong Kong.
Yeah,
in Hong Kong, the
definitely.
protest is against a very objectively agreed upon horrible government that oppresses its people through concentration camps, through removing autonomy from Hong Kong to basically impose martial law on their people, documented in more ways than we can really see.
Exactly.
We're seeing plenty, and it's obviously way worse than that. The censorship, the just iron fist down on the people. So giving them a way to come here and be actually productive, anyone that knows anything knows that Hong Kong is a very prosperous area. So essentially import capital into capital potential, I should say.
I completely agree.
Into the UK could be a huge boost.
Definitely. And obviously, I mean, the China understands what this is. So they're trying to retaliate in some kind of fashion. They really can't.
It's legitimate. It's one of those few cases of really, I think, is legitimate rebellion against,
I mean, China's breached the autonomy contract with the UK, right? When we did the handover in 1997, they're supposed to leave Hong Kong alone until 2047. So this is a clear violation of that. They've broken the terms of the agreement. They don't give a shit, and they know that Brits are not going to invade China. So Britain is in their response to deal with their nationals. These are all BNO citizens, British nationals of overseas. Mm-hmm. We can do with them what we wish, and they're opening the door to all of these people and their families. They don't get automatic citizenship. They got to earn it. They got to be employed and stuff. So they got 2 years to come and work, study, figure that shit out. I think the Americans might probably be opening it up as well. And as Brian quite rightly pointed out, they're not coming here for handouts. They're coming from a country in Hong Kong where there is no massive welfare state. They're not coming here looking for money. They're coming here looking for opportunity. And you're
gonna get so many dry cleaners and restaurants.
Well, so it's gonna be London is gonna be a very different place, but we'll see.
But what else? Yeah, it's real funny that the title of this show has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
We could always rename it later. We'll sort it out.
No, we're keeping it. We got to get all the traffic we can. Man, actually, just real funny little thing. So in our last show our last show of today that we did with Religion Zero, I know. Someone dropped the whole Florida man thing. Did you ever look into what your Florida man birthday thing was?
No, what is it? What do you have to do again?
So you type in Florida man, and so what you do is you go on Google. I mean, people have done this before. You type in Florida man, you type in your birthday, and just see what you get.
So do I spell it out like word or just put the numbers?
The name, okay, for me, September 30th. And I just type in, so I do Florida man September 30th, and then I got, Florida man punches a shark to save a dog.
Right. I'm not getting anything in particular. Let's see. No, nothing has come up. Must be an American thing.
Huh.
Florida man. As I said, if people know my birthday and my full name, I put myself at risk, so I'm not gonna say it.
Right.
Nothing in particular. Let me give it to you, and maybe you put it in on that side. And
wait. God, like I freaking know. Oh no! You don't have to put in the year.
Oh, you don't have to put in the year. Okay.
It's Florida man. Okay, here we go.
All right,
so for you. That. Oh no, sorry. I wrote that differently.
Right, because you do.
I wrote different. It. Oh no,
Florida man with large neck in viral mugshot arrested again. That's what I got.
Oh,
Cog is like, that's why we dumped your tea.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you've got the big neck dude.
The big neck dude. Yeah, that's funny.
Your British censored internet.
Yeah, British censored it. Ironically, Kong, that is actually a thing in the UK because of the EU, and there are some websites
is it just the NIS, National Internet Service?
No, because we have this stupid thing called the GPR. Something. It's like it's a data protection something.
G Fuel?
No. It's the GPRS protocol in the EU or some fuckery thing like that, where we can't just go onto a website. The website has to get like all these consent forms from the users, and it's very complicated. So a lot of websites are just like, we're not going to jump through all these hoops for everybody in the EU, so we just fucking block the Europeans. It's just easier to do it that way. So for instance, one of the newspapers back in Trinidad and Tobago, I can't access it from here because they're just not going to put up with this European regulation. So yeah, he's not wrong to say that we have a certain amount of censorship that takes place. In fact, Roosh V and his blog Return of the Kings. Mm-hmm. I had to get special permission from the ISP, from the internet provider, to access that website. They had banned it on even before I'd looked it up. Mm-hmm. There's like censored websites out there that are banned from the internet provider or like by default. How shitty is that?
Oh boy, Conk is making a nice little prophesying a future sponsor.
Yeah, I use ExpressVPN, just for the record. That's another one.
I'm just gonna, just for the meme. Mm-hmm. Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, moving on.
Good time.
Totally not a sponsor. Don't take that, guys. I've never played that game and I never will. Anyways, oh come on, Brian, don't hate. Tactical soap's the best soap. Anyways, so
we have to work out some UK sponsors because you got the American stuff. Half of our audience, I'm sure, is in the UK, and we can't get it.
In true American fashion. Fuck British sponsors.
Fucking colonists.
Fucking colonists want to sponsor. Next thing you want is to take my country and slap your flag on it. Take my show, slap your flag on it. Yeah.
Where do you think you learned it from?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to find, or at least a more international sponsor that we can get everybody involved. I think that's probably
because all sponsors matter.
All sponsors matter.
Dude, yesterday I got some funny ones. People were like, all countries matter? Because Independence Day.
As if that's the thing. Like on Independence Day, it's like, no, it should be all countries matter. And I was like, these people are so stupid.
Oh no! But it was a joke upon like the the all lives matter like logic.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it. It's okay. I can laugh at it, but it's just kind of like, boy,
that was funny though. But it's not even close to the same thing.
Treason is the reason for the season. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, I actually got like a proper meme sent to me by my my very boomer family, like, Happy Treason Day, colonists or something, and I was like, oh, that's okay. It's a proper meme. Wasn't some boomer tier meme that I see out there. But oh man, dude, you and I are both pretty much running on some fumes here.
Yeah. You want to tell the good people what you've been up to?
Do I want to?
I don't know.
Uh, so I mean, it's posted on my Facebook anyways. It was public; people can see it. But I mean, do I want to? Yeah, I might. I won't say it. Basically, you guys have heard me kind of talking about different things with the president. I mean, obviously it's election year. There's all sorts of stuff going on, but for the last month and a week, pretty much month and a week and a half, probably month and 2 weeks almost. I've been basically working for Jesus. I've been working for the Joe Jorgensen presidential campaign.
Yes, the libertarian candidate in the U.S.
Libertarian candidate, yes, Dr. Joe Jorgensen. I am her Twitter manager. So,
Very cool.
most people know, for the most part, as weird as that sounds, but a lot of people already know already. So it is actually, I'm actually on her staff and everything. We had a bit of a change with some of the like the structure and stuff, but so my position has changed a little bit, but it's pretty much the same thing. I run her Twitter account, which is at Jorgensen for POTUS on Twitter. Don't go follow it and start, no, just I'm not the only one that runs it. I am the manager for it, but I'm not the only person that is running it. So obviously, it's an opportunity for resume building, for getting to see the inner workings of a presidential campaign. But I'm not, I'm not really like advertising it. I know there's some other people that are part of the campaign from different aspects that are all kind of like very open, but so I'm just kind of like, I help craft tweets. I reply to people, part of things I got to kind of pursue, or like, Biden tweets something stupid. I gotta talk about it. Trump tweets, and again, to balance, obviously, if Trump tweets something that I might not agree with, or even just doesn't go along with, the core Libertarian Party sort of platform, I gotta criticize it in the way. And so there is a sense of like, there's a creative side to it that I think it's pretty fun. Plus, there's a lot of libertarians that I tend to like can get along with a lot more than most people. So it's a nice thing. Yeah, Tucker 2024. I don't know about that one.
I think he's doing an exploratory, whatever it's called, where they kind of feel it out. I don't think
unless Tucker gets really cool with a lot of things real quick, I'm probably not on board with Tucker.
Yeah. He's more conservative at the end of the day. So
right, and conservatives, I think for the most part, like there's a reason why conservatives and Republicans can get along on a lot of things with libertarians. There tends to be more right leaning. No, Edmundo, I'm not Joe Exotic's campaign manager. Although I do have connections that connect to the people who were part of his campaign a while ago. Yeah. So anyway, Tucker. I'll just say it's all right. I don't really agree with a lot of his views when it comes to like trying to. If anyone knows, like, you can go watch when Tucker and Ben Shapiro talked, kind of the whole thing where he said like, I want to actually stop automation so truckers can still have jobs.
He said that. Tucker said that.
So with the automation of the trucking industry and the ramifications of that, are basically millions of jobs going out of existence. He said he would actually put in policies to protect those jobs.
Right. Okay. I didn't see that, but I wouldn't agree with that either.
Yeah, it's that populist view to like, it's kind of jobs to the extreme where it will like stifle and slow down actual progress. Like it's just backwards. You're stopping progress in the name of saving jobs is like, you might as well go back, try to argue that back during the Industrial Revolution.
I mean, to be fair, the American government does that already in a very massive, wasteful way when it comes to government contracts and military contracts.
True. No, I'll agree with you on that, but I'm saying when it comes to like greater, even larger things,
I would not ban a technology just to save jobs. I think that's not necessarily the right.
That's like
the
if
right
you
way
wanted
go
to
about
like,
doing things.
I mean, granted, it's not exactly the same, but it's like if you wanted to ban VPNs to save the jobs of like ISP data collectors or something.
Right, or to allow Amazon and Facebook and Google to mine your data, that kind of thing, so they could target ads. Yeah, I get it. I understand
Like,
the sentiment because he does see the automation coming as a problem, which I think we agree it can very well be a
it's a
problem.
problem, but it's one of those, like, when you're looking at economics,
Teddy
they don't really.
2024.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be demonetized.
Which Teddy?
Ted Kaczynski. He's talking about the Unabomber.
Oh,
Welcome, FBI. How have you been?
oh boy.
Oh my god. We're never gonna see
Um,
any money from these streams.
no. So, yeah, there's just, I think, problem. Yes, overall progress that could solve that problem later on, even more so. I think, like,
We
I mean,
hope.
yeah, I mean, didn't you kind of argue against me when I was saying, like, I thought maybe this was one of those huge innovations that would actually screw us over, but you were saying like we'll find a way anyways to just create new ways
I
of
mean, yeah,
jobs.
that is the general sentiment. But I think I even voiced the concern is like, look, there's always going to be a portion of the society that's not technically inclined. Kind of like the truck drivers. It's not the sharpest and the brightest, and you don't need programming and all this other kind of stuff.
You can't
You're
just
always going to have
learn to code.
right, exactly. Not everybody can just learn to code. And I think that was my concern. It's like, yes, there's a large portion of the society that could be retrained, rebranded, and move into some other field. But there's always going to be the garbage man. There's always going to be the mailman. There's always going to be the trucker and these menial jobs that, if are automated, that's a very large portion of the society that do these manual jobs. And they're manual and maybe not very technical. That's going to be very hard to switch over. And I think that was my caveat to it. And I don't have an answer to it, to be very fair. Yeah, so if we get, I don't dispute we'll get new jobs, robotic maintenance, you'll get, AI tweaking, whatever. But those are all high-end, sophisticated jobs. I think the menial jobs are kind of disappearing. That's my concern.
Right. Oh, did you catch up on Jordan Peterson?
Oh, with his interview with Michaela?
Yep.
I started to watch. I didn't finish it, though, but he's out of rehab and he's doing better.
Yeah, quite a bit better, it seems.
Oh, well, fill me in because I haven't actually watched.
I know. I listened to the whole thing. So, everyone knows Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, clinical psychologist, famous
from Canada.
From Canada. Bill C-16, whatever it was.
I think.
The law about compelled speech of gender pronouns and all this. 12 rules for life, triggering all the people while still being left leaning. Clean your room. Yeah, exactly.
Clean your room. Yeah,
right as I said, clean your room. Messages, clean your room. And anyways, wash your balls.
And wash your balls. Yeah,
that
should be the second tagline. Yeah, that should be the second tagline to today's episode. Kanye 2020, clean your balls.
But yeah, so yeah, he was on benzos, and I didn't even know like benzos was that nasty of a drug. But like you could become dependent.
Yeah.
You could be dependent upon it within a month, pretty much, of using it.
I've heard some pretty crazy stories. Yeah.
So yeah, he was on benzos, dealing with all the pain, with all the. I mean, his wife almost died, and Jordan Peterson almost died. His daughter was going through some rehab. Like I think she was like something with her, because she's got like bad joints and stuff. His daughter
severe arthritis.
And okay, a little bit off topic, but kind of connected. Is Michaela Peterson still married to her husband?
No, I think she broke up with. I don't know.
She
if they
said
were ever married.
They talked about
kids. She's separated.
They talked about being married and said husband and everything. It seemed like they were together still. I don't know.
Oh, it's interesting. I don't follow her really, but okay. I don't know.
Anyways, I mean, yeah, She posts cute pics on Instagram and she thoughts around whatever. Um,
All's fair in tits and ass.
exactly. So yeah, he did a whole interview talking about like how they've been working through everything for over the past fucking year and a half, probably at least.
Yeah, it's
Maybe a
been a
little
while.
less.
He's been out of the mainstream
And
for a while.
you know, the Benzos, he went to freaking Russia. They went all over the world, like trying to seek the best treatment because instead of sort of a weaning off of benzos, it was just like kind of had to cold turkey clean it out. So all the treatment and it's pretty nasty stuff. And you know, so um, and yeah, I mean, you could tell actually at one point, Jordan Peterson was straight up like he was crying a little bit at the end.
Really? Okay.
And I like you could just hear he just said, you know, he just kind of
It was
looked at
very
it again.
emotional.
Yeah, he just said thank you because this is not only just kind of like them telling the story, but also kind of like I guess almost a coming out between both of them of like just this is what I really felt about everything. I really appreciate everything you did. It's kind of nice too. Like she interviewed him. She's like, "Hey, Dad," and he goes, "Hey, kiddo." Like there was just this very like father daughter kind of wholesome,
Lovely.
lovely moment kind of thing. And I was like, "That's nice." But so they talked about everything. I mean, all the stuff he went through. The benzos, fuck, like just that's scary shit.
That is some heavy shit. Like, I mean, I've never been on it, but I've heard stories and how, yeah, as quite rightly, there are entire clinics that are dedicated to getting people off of benzos. So it is. I'm glad he's come out of it.
You see here in the chat, yeah, he was hallucinating. Yeah, he was talking about some situations that they were actually explaining on the show, where he was like, "Yeah, I remember there was a day I wasn't even really there," and she's like, "Actually, there was 9 days, and it was one of the last days that you actually came out of it. Like you were It was almost like he was blacked out for like a week. Then he started to come out of that. So he didn't even remember that he was out of it. It was just out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's some serious stuff.
And I was just like, you know, God damn. You know,
I'm glad. I did see the beginning of it. He looked well. He looked kind of upbeat. I only 10 minutes into it, and then I had to head off. But I'll definitely, because when I do my trip out to Wales, I could listen to the full thing and see how he is. But I'm glad he's out and about.
So when you're moving out to Wales, you're having movers, right? You told me that.
Yes.
Are they loading up like a truck, like a U-Haul or something?
I will assume it's something along those lines. Probably bigger than a U-Haul.
But you're getting there.
Yes,
You're getting there before you officially move in?
Right. Well, I'm going to go. So I'm going on Tuesday. So my train leaves around, let's just say the afternoon of Tuesday. And I'm going to go. Like London is the capital of England. Cardiff is the capital of Wales. And he lives. I'm going to go there. I'll overnight on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I'll head up to the town, go to the agent, do all the paperwork, agreement, and, you know, do all the paperwork and get the keys and everything like that. And then they will signal me when they pick up all the stuff in where I am now in Essex in Waltham Abbey. My flatmate will be home, so he'll open up for them. I'll have everything packed up. All the stuff in the office is going to be packed up by tomorrow, and they'll load it up, and then they'll drive out there, meet me out there, hopefully at a decent hour. And by Wednesday night, I should be reassembling my bed and getting ready to start my life out in Aberdeen.
Yeah, you see over the chat there was a bit of a glitch there for a couple of minutes, but we're good.
So, is it the internet has been pretty shit out here. I hope it's not too bad.
We're good. We're good. StreamYard has a good way of kind of adjusting for that typically, so we're good.
Yeah, I hope so.
But awesome.
Yeah,
man.
did you see Joey from the Glorious House of Games? Have you been following his stories recently?
No.
So Joey, I think the one from last night, you know, he's put back on his weight, right? So at one point he was like 220, going below 220, and now he's kind of back up to 250. And on the podcast, they're joking with him like the road to 300 kind of thing.
Wow.
But anyway, so he sent out a story, an Instagram story, where basically he was on some kind of deck, some kind of wooden deck, and his foot went straight through the floor. And he's like taking a picture, like, this is a wake up call. Like, this is fucked up. So yeah. I actually sent him a message when I saw that. I was like, bro, have you maybe considered trying the carnivore diet? Jogan did it. You could try it for a little while. It might reset your hormones and, get some of the cravings under control. And he wrote me back like, bro, I'm willing to try anything at this point. This is bad.
It could be the Wendy's diet with all of the carbs.
That's what I said. I said you could still eat Wendy's just without the bun. You could eat the burgers and the chicken and stuff like that. So
just no fried. Fried would be a little iffy.
Yeah, fried wouldn't be great. You could do Burger King. It's flame broiled, as they say. But yeah, I mean, once in a while eating something fried is not going to throw you off too much on the diet. I mean, are you still doing your carnivore diet?
Wow, what a segue, huh? No. Jesus. We literally just talked about this before the show, and I was like, yeah, you're like, yeah, I figured it. And you're like, all right, let's slip this in on him. Now I got
15 minutes to fill, man. Let's
now I got a whole freaking audience to report to, and like, oh, sorry guys, I'm totally not on a diet anymore. I mean, hitting the gym a little more now, but just got past the initial soreness of going back. Yeah, my shirt. It's the ramen noodle shirt. Brisket and sauce last night for conch, huh? What have I been freaking eating? I mean, I haven't been eating. Actually, I have been probably eating a little unhealthy. I mean, I think it's a little bit of the quarantine kind of catching up with me, getting me to not make as good of decisions with food. But I haven't really gained any weight. I mean, I lost a little a couple weeks ago because, like, right at the end of doing the carnivore, and then I didn't gain back that weight. Interesting enough. So, it's just I gotta make sure that I'm not eating anything that's gonna sit too long. Yeah. You don't want to eat anything that I think. I saw something about some guy decided to eat what was it? Those like Nutri-Grain fiber bars or something.
Right.
Kind of those chewy bars, just high fiber, and he was like, yeah, because this stuff keeps you full and it's cheap and all this stuff. And basically, like, within a week, he was so plugged up that it was an absolute nightmare in the bathroom, basically.
Yeah. It's ironic when they've done the studies on fiber, the less fiber, the better, apparently. Like,
there's a balance to it, I think. I mean, objectively, I think there's some need for it, but not on the level that the media and like people tend to push it. Like, oh, just fucking eat apples all day and you'll be fine. Like, there's something about like eating too much fiber and literally shitting bricks.
Yeah, well, the studies were done with people in constipation, and they realized that adding fiber doesn't do anything to help that. I mean, it's not necessary because I haven't had any fiber for.
You want to really go to the bathroom when you're doing a regular diet? Just eat a full-on steak meal. You'll just clear right out.
I thought a burrito was kind of the similar thing.
Burritos. I mean, that's a little more just as a reaction. Like, your body is. I think like it's purging, whereas steak, I think, kind of just cleans out.
I don't have that issue. I don't have.
Well, at your level, you probably don't have that as much. I'm just saying, like, for people who are on regular diets, can just eat a steak meal and. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, fair enough. So when did you stop on
talking about shitting on the show here, guys?
Yeah, this is a new low. So when would you say that you stopped the diet then?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe more. I don't know. I'm trying to. maybe a month ago. I don't know. Fucking know. I I am a horrible example to my viewers now. See, this is a good thing. We got viewers that are going to keep me accountable.
That is good. That is good. That's what we need. At
Yeah.
least you could get back in the gym. Like the gyms are
Is
still
there?
closed out
Yeah.
here.
Is there going to be like a bet out there? Like if I don't reach a certain weight, you're going to like come over and tase me or something?
Do you want to be tased?
No,
Like
no, no.
we could
They-
make arrangements.
we've got family friends that are cops or and former cops. So
Yeah. We can make arrangements. But yeah, it's good. I mean, do you want that kind of accountability? Do you think that kind of thing helps? Sun has just come into my.
No.
No, you don't.
Look at you. You're like starting to get on me, and then you start glowing and such. Like your righteousness is shining.
Yeah. Saint Brook Potter is in the house. You know, oh, the heavenly bodies are singing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like literally coming into the window, bouncing.
Speaking of heavenly bodies, any possible women to meet in Wales? Sorry, you're gonna be in Welsh, dude.
Yeah, there are a couple ladies. Man. There are a couple ladies. In fact, my friend on Facebook, he went into the Aberdare group, and he posted. I think I was just telling you this. He posted a picture of me from Old Year's Night in my coattails, white tie outfit, and he basically said, "Hey, you know, my bro is moving out to Aberdare next week Wednesday. You know, guys, look out for him, take care of him. I know you're gonna make him feel welcome." And he put my name, and right after he put single, right after it. And I prefer not to have somebody trying to advertise me like that. But I know he's coming from a good place, and he really cares about me. He wants to make sure I'm taken care of and I'm okay out there and stuff like that. So that was posted just before we went into the show. And I've got like a whole bunch of notifications on my Facebook right now. So when I'm done, I'm going to have to go through and respond to all of these comments. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I did meet this blonde chick in Pontypridd, which is about 30 minutes from where I'm staying.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how things go on Wednesday, when I go up to Aberdare, I might go back down to Ponty, spend the day kind of knocking around, then come back up in the evening to wait for the moving men, who will probably show up later in the evening. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Oh boy.
Put the phone down, or is it an emergency?
No. PewDiePie just put out a video. Apology for a video I made.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to check that out after.
Anyways, floor gang.
Floor gang, yeah.
Anything else you wanna touch on? I know we're kind of
I know we're kind of running on fumes at this point because neither of us got a lot of sleep.
That is the whole catchphrase of the day is running on fumes.
Yeah, running on fumes. No, I'm gonna miss the Abbey, definitely. I'm gonna miss the place out here. I'm gonna miss the Welsh Harp, which has been very dear to me. So anybody in the Abbey who catches this stream, just know that you guys have made me feel very welcome. I felt very much at home out here. That the Welsh Harp, I have an open invitation if ever I want to come back. They got a room for me on top of the pub, which probably wouldn't be very conducive to work, but yeah, it's a difficult transition because this is the first place I've been in the UK where I really felt like I was at home. So I don't know anybody in Aberdare. I don't have any friends or family out there. And as I was telling a good friend of mine today, it really is a sink or swim moment. But I mean, that's no different than when I moved over to the UK in the first place. I left it all behind. I came out here, didn't have much of a plan, and I've been out here for 4 years now. So I hope the adventure continues.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm excited, man, that you're going to there, and it's it's crazy of a place.
Yeah.
Hopefully, meet some chicks. Find you a find you a proper British girl.
Well, she'll be Welsh. She'll be a Welsh girl.
British.
Yeah, you just say
Empire?
British. Yeah, that's kind of empire-ish.
Empire-ish? Oh, wow. Don't you get all empire-ish with me, freaking colonists.
I mean, it is possible. I mean, I've shared about Michael, our friend Michael, who gave me a word about going out to Wales, and he also mentioned another name, and I'm not going to get into that whole thing here. I think I left that in the raw take. So anybody wants to check that out, you could go onto the subscribe star and hear that story.
Right. But anyways. But yeah, don't as our chat here, just don't get in trouble. Yeah.
I can't guarantee that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Trouble is part of the game. So of course, I think we'll wrap it up here. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Of course, just real quick at the very end again. 10K Rum, 10K RUM is the coupon code for Tactical Soap. 10% off everything you buy there. Good stuff. Wash your balls. Keep them healthy. Subscribestar.com/shitlord-preachers for the Patreon. Never said that in a while. Subscribestar month. Basically, have a monthly support for the show, and then you get little perks for that. And then, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on podcasting platforms. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Share the show with anyone you think you'll like. Depending upon how things go, we might or might not have a show on next Sunday because it'll be episode 100. Brooke will be in process of moving, so we might skip a week and actually prepare for a proper episode 100 show. So thank you for joining us, of course. We will see you guys in the next show.
Thanks for watching, everyone.